Look at your hands. When I was 7 years old, my paternal grandfather told me that life can be seen on your hands. Grandpa Cero said that whenever you act inappropriate, you're left a mark. Do you see any marks on your hands? I don't. I've been pretty lucky. I've gone through most of my life without facing blatant racism. That changed after the election last November. My parents, my children, and I were attending a national conference. We were headed to the elevator with our luggage and my dad's wheelchair. There were 3 girls behind us from a dance competition 1 floor down. The door opens. The girls rush past us. "Excuse me, we were here first," my mother says. The girl's mother says, "Oh, they're late," sees the empty wheelchair, says, "Besides, you're not crippled, you can wait." My mom and my son help my dad onto the elevator, and she turns to the girls and says, "We're elders. Weren't you taught to let elders go first?" Door closes. The mother turns on me. "I can't believe you say respect your elders when you're a bunch of uneducated Indians. Your elder wasn't crippled. I can't believe you brown people think you run this country." All I could do was stare at her, put my daughter behind me, and say nothing. We get on the elevator, and she continues yelling at me, "Quit staring at me. I don't need no damn voodoo curse put on me." The door closes. The girls are looking on their phones. They don't look up. One smirks. So I say, "Maybe you girls need to learn how to be on time to things. It would prevent undue stress. And it's real unfortunate you had to see how racist your mother truly is. Good luck with your competition." The door opens. The girls look up from their phones, mouths open, shocked. One of them mumbles a thank you as they go out the elevator. I immediately turn to my daughter and I apologize to her for having to witness that. As she and I are getting off the elevator, I see my dad's waiting for me. I have my daughter run to find her grandma, and I fell into my dad's hug and I cried. So what do we do when we're faced with someone whose ideals may conflict with our own? Do we try reasoning with them? Well, I guess we could try, but in the end, the only reaction that matters is yours. In our Pueblo teachings, we're told, "Imi bish," don't act up, be patient. So what are you going to do when you're faced with an uncomfortable or unexpected situation? Honestly, I wanted to punch that woman. I wanted her to physically feel how much her words hurt me, but in the end, all I kept thinking about is this going to leave a mark on my hands? Look at your hands again. Now think about your own life. I was raised steeped in the Pueblo traditions on the Acoma and Laguna reservations. I am now raised in my own family in the same neighborhood I grew up. My parents aren't divorced. My family traveled. I had a lot of support, but I knew I was different. I was not an artist, no matter how many lessons I took or by watching my famous grandmother make pottery. I was not a runner, and I actually got made fun of for playing golf in high school. And I never knew if I could have become a famous ballerina or a classical violinist. Those kind of lessons just aren't offered to a native child on a reservation. But I was a nerd. A nerd! I love math. I love science. I was that lab geek in high school. Oh, I got teased for that too. I wanted to be a doctor. One summer in college, my thoughts completely changed about science. I learned that it was okay to play in the dirt and not necessarily be a lab geek. While researching the medicinal plants of my people, I enjoyed speaking with the elders and gathering plants in the fields. And I came to that realization that the traditional knowledge of my ancestors is true science. I didn't need a lab. I needed to be patient, adaptable, and change what I thought about medicine. I went to college excited. I was going to change modern medicine by integrating traditional Pueblo medicine. I had a plan. Then the unexpected happened. I was forced to leave New Mexico Tech due to issues with my tribal scholarship. I was 19 hours away from my Bachelor of Science degree in biology pre-med. So what does any depressed college student forced into sabbatical do at this point? Well, I ate. I watched a lot of TV. I slept. I moped. I wonder if any of that shows up on my hands. One day, my mom brought home an application and told me to fill it out. I looked at it, rolled my eyes, then it would show up around the house as if it was following me. 2 days before the deadline, I ran around Acoma and Laguna, gathering up documents, seeking permission from my tribes, and entered the Miss Indian World pageant. At the pageant, I competed in categories such as traditional talent, where I presented the medicinal plants of my people. I made friends. I actually even changed my own views about some tribes. I learned, I listened, I loved. Right before crowning, I had this crazy feeling I wasn't going to win, but I won Best Interview, Best Answer, and Miss Congeniality. So imagine my shock when I was crowned Miss Indian World. Now, I'm constantly faced with this dichotomy of your ways of self-promotion versus the Pueblo teachings of humbleness. I wonder if I'll receive a mark on my hands for this. Suddenly, I was a leader. Patience, adaptability, all those Pueblo life lessons came into focus as I embraced my role as Miss Indian World. I learned about different cultures, and I discovered I learned best when I listened. I learned about peace while standing on the site of the Hiroshima bomb, listening to Japanese children sing about Sadako. I learned about the heartbeat of the whale while watching the blanket toss competition in Fairbanks, Alaska. And I learned about the cleansing nature of hurricanes from a Homo woman explaining the design on her dress. In the years after Miss Indian World, I went to work. My tribal scholarship issues were finished, or were resolved, and I went back to college 7 years after I had to leave. Oh, then I got pregnant. Patience, adaptability, once again, all those Pueblo life lessons came into focus because now my childhood dream of becoming a doctor was broken. I was not going to be selfish and raise a child through the grueling training of medical school. I only have a short amount of time to make sure my children become good humans, and I wasn't going to miss out on any of that, nor was I going to blame them for my life changes. But my dream didn't die, it changed, it adapted. I decided to study Curandismo medicine with my mom. We learned by listening to nature's gifts of medicines. Now armed with the traditional medicinal knowledge of the Mexican people and my Pueblo people, I went back to college at UNM. I took classes in biology and chemistry like any medical student might, but I also took classes related to the environment and nature. I changed. I adapted. After graduation, well, I bought a business. Yep, I became the small business owner of a floral shop. Talk about change. Now, I do not recommend to anyone going into business the way I did because a reservation-based business doesn't get much support. One lending source took the risk to help me, and they have stuck by me ever since. I have become a successful floral designer and a business owner, but I still struggle. I face every business obstacle with patience, adaptability. It's not easy. I haven't been treated fairly, and I haven't been nice at times too. I have debt, lots of it, but I still struggle. I look good, I look successful, but I have to really work hard on my patience. When it comes to reacting to life, I always think about what Grandpa Cero told me when he told me to look at my hands. He said that anytime you do something wrong, a mark is left on your hands. He says that the only time those marks become visible is when you get to meet Creator. Creator is going to ask, may I see your hands? Creator is going to see the kind of life you led. Creator is going to see if you were intolerant, selfish, impatient, mean, hurtful, greedy, unkind. Creator is going to see how you reacted to life. When that time comes, I want Creator to know that through all my struggles, I show qualities such as patience, tolerance, and humor. But most of all, I want to go to Creator with as few marks on my hands as possible. Shouldn't we all have that same goal?